Hello all YouTubers, I am the Weather Dude. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning back into the second winter forecast for August 29th, 2020. Before I get on with today's video, however, if you guys want to stay up to date with the latest forecast and best forecast from the Weather Dude, then please, every single one of you that is not subscribed, please click the subscribe and the ring and the notification bell so you guys stay up to date with the latest The Weather Dude content. And also, please watch the whole video. Thank you guys so much, by the way, for 1,000 subscribers. It really does mean a lot to me. And this is taking the next step towards monetization, so please watch the whole video. It really does help out my channel a lot. And also, please give this video a like and share this with your friends. Thank you. Now let's get on with today's video. Again, guys, I do apologize if you guys did watch my last video, which is my September forecast. I'm sorry, I don't know how the audio got off again, but it turns out that it was off. But please consider still watching that video after this video as well. And without further ado, let's get started on today's video. So this is my second winter forecast. My first winter forecast, I did it about exactly 20 days ago. So it's nice to give a little update to my winter forecast. But before I get into that, I want to take a look because there's two possibilities for the winter time. Either we'll have a La Niña, like a weaker La Niña, or an ENSO neutral winter. And depending on where you live, you may want a La Niña, or you may want an ENSO neutral, depending on where you guys live. So let's take a look at what we get in a La Niña pattern typically during the winter time. Usually during a La Niña, the northern plains is usually a lot colder, as well as western and southern parts of Canada. Even eastern Alaska is usually colder during a La Niña pattern because you got that high pressure here. The jet stream doesn't dip as far as it does in El Nino. Actually, for the eastern seaboard, you definitely want a weak El Nino during the winter time to really get that snow cranking. But as for the northwest United States, it's usually above average precipitation for you guys. But for the southwest, the extreme southern plains, and the southeast, including the Gulf Coast, it's warmer and it is drier. Okay, and then you got the Ohio Valley, maybe even the upper Tennessee Valley, which is usually a little bit above average precipitation. So that's typically what we have in a La Nina pattern now. ENSO neutral winter, what do we typically see there? All right, we typically see cooler conditions. The jet stream gets a little bit farther down to the eastern U.S., so some more cold and snow. Still for the north, more cold temperatures for the northern plains, but this also now includes the Ohio Valley and Northeast, as well as extreme northern mid-Atlantic. While the Southwest and Southeast are still warm, but instead of being warm and dry, the Southeast will be more so warm and wet. All right, and then with a very weak Pacific jet stream, maybe some wetter conditions for the Northwest, but not quite. So either way, so pretty much some guarantees here. Northern plains will probably be cold because typically in a La Nina and ENSO neutral, the northern plains is cold. And we could probably almost confirm that the Southwest, the southern plains, and the Southeast will be warm. We don't know quite yet if it's going to be warm and dry or warm and wet. But we do know that the southern third of the United States will probably have some warmer temperatures, and the northern plains, we could probably confirm almost that we can see some colder temperatures up there. Now these next couple maps I'll show you may remind you guys, if you guys watch my hurricane discussions that I've done, you've recognized some of these maps. But instead of focusing on October, November like we do for hurricane season, we'll be focusing on December and January. So notice, starting in December, we kind of climb up, and by January, we may even get back to ENSO neutral. So maybe La Nina at first, and then flipping over to neutral. That's certainly possible. All right, and as for December, all right, a lot of models indicate maybe La Nina, even the mean does indicate some La Nina possibly. And then January starts to retreat back. If you watch my hurricane season videos, you see the models going farther and farther left, farther towards or further into La Nina. But now January starts to back away a little bit, so maybe we might back out of La Nina by the time maybe late January, February, March. And so maybe it's the eastern seaboard's turn to get some snow. That's certainly possible as well. So we're going to get into my winter forecast in just very, very shortly here. Before I do, I want to take a look at the Climate Prediction Center. This is their initial December to February temperature outlook. Now, the Climate Prediction Center I see has a little bias where they really don't put below normal temperatures on this graph. So what I want you to focus on is anywhere that is not shaded in any color, that's where you have your chance to see some cooler temperatures. And I want you to focus on areas that emphasize the warmth, like in the southeast and the southern plains and the northeast. So that's where you can see some potentially warmer spots, but they're really looking a little confident here for the southeast and southern plains. We could see a warmer winter there. And as for precipitation, all right, I definitely do agree with this as well. The Ohio Valley And the Northwest, see they're emphasizing the above average precipitation and the below average precipitation for like the southern fourth or fifth of the United States. So I definitely do agree with that. Now we're going to hop on over to my forecast. So this is my winter 2020 to 2021 forecast. Obviously, this is the second one, so this is an updated version. And as you can see, as for the precipitation, slightly above average for places like the northwest United States down to the northern plains, mid-Atlantic, northeast. But where I emphasize the above average precipitation, maybe moderately above average, could be the Ohio Valley, all right, and in the northwest. Like I said, Climate Prediction Center I do agree with. Also, I did emphasize these two areas because this is what I think could happen. And also, these two areas typically get more precipitation in a La Niña winter. So those two spots could be highlighted here for some above average precipitation. Meanwhile, down towards the south, like Southern California, through New Mexico, through pretty much the whole state of Texas, and through parts of the southeast and the Gulf Coast, some slightly below average precipitation, but really emphasizing the below average precipitation for like the Gulf Coast and the Florida Peninsula, the entire state of Florida actually, Savannah, Georgia, and then also emphasizing the dry times, maybe for a place like El Paso and Phoenix, maybe even Death Valley, all right, maybe some below average precipitation there. Now I'll be flipping back and forth between my forecasts and these maps because I wanted to take a look at, obviously if you watched my first winter forecast, you might have seen this before, and I've been using this a lot, and this is basically, I basically took all the years, going back to like the late 40s, that we've seen a weak La Niña, and I kind of composed them here to kind of show you guys, when we have a weak La Niña, how does the precipitation look generally? And again, the northwest United States, the Ohio Valley, all right, is typically above average, typically has above average precipitation. Meanwhile, the southeast, maybe even the northern mid-Atlantic, but the southeast, Gulf Coast, southern plains, and the west coast, excluding Washington and Oregon, maybe seeing some below average precipitation when we have a weak La Niña. Now, when we have an ENSO neutral, how does the precipitation look? So, as you can see, maybe the mid-Atlantic looks a little sporadic, but the southeast, maybe some above average precipitation. Meanwhile, the central and southern plains, maybe some below average precipitation. But the Rockies region now, maybe the Intermountain Rockies, Intermountain West, could see some above average precipitation. And now the West Coast, maybe some drier times for you guys, as well as the central and southern portions of Florida. So that's kind of how our precipitation could trend. It's like I said, this is climatologically. This particular map, I sent it all the way back to the 60s. All right. So this is typically climatologically over the years how we've seen ENSO neutral play out during the winter months. Now here's my updated temperature forecast. All right, and as you can see, I have made some changes. If you watched my first one, you might see some changes. I haven't made, like I said, my last winter forecast, my first one was 20 days ago. I have made changes. You will see some changes in the overall forecast as well. I have updated. There's been changes, but I don't think it's anything too drastic. All right, I didn't like move the warm temperatures all the way up to the north. I didn't make anything too drastic. I did update though. I did give it a nice refresh look here. So our slightly below average temperatures again extend from the northern plains, maybe including the interior northeast, places like Cleveland, maybe even southern portions of Indianapolis, St. Louis as well, maybe Lincoln, Nebraska, the Black Hills in western South Dakota, Billings, Montana, maybe some slightly below average temperatures for you guys. Meanwhile, the below average temperatures, the moderately below average temperatures, would be in place for places like the southeastern side of Chicago, maybe Indianapolis, downtown Indianapolis, maybe like Detroit, Michigan as well, and kind of in that moderately below average. And then we have our well below average area, our third shade of blue, for places like the UP Michigan, Upper Michigan. We got Wisconsin, the entire state of Minnesota, entire state of Wisconsin, Des Moines, Iowa, maybe even like Bismarck, North Dakota as well, and some well below average temperatures. Because the reason I'm kind of confident in this area being cold, because again, when we look at our climatological data, you can see that typically in a La Niña and neutral phase, we typically see cold temperatures in this area anyway, and that's our two choices for this winter. Is it going to be a La Niña or an ENSO neutral? So either way, it looks like cold temperatures could set up for this region, which is why I kind of emphasize that region in some below average temperatures. Also, for the southeast, all right, we got some warmer than average temperatures. Now, the reason I didn't put a well above average shade on here is because La Niña for the southeast can meet some drier times, but an ENSO neutral could meet some wetter times. So I'm not as confident in the southeast, but we still do have some confidence that maybe if this year just turned out to be La Niña, maybe some especially warmer times for like the Florida, entire state of Florida, central southern Georgia, southern Alabama, and also places like southern Arizona, southern New Mexico, as well as the extreme southwestern portions of Texas. Also includes New Orleans. Now, as for the slightly above average region, I did kind of put that for places like the Four Corners region in the southwest, maybe around Death Valley as well. Most of the state of Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth, and then places like Birmingham, Alabama, north side of Atlanta, all right, Lake Charles, Louisiana, Beaumont, Port Arthur. We got maybe even Corpus Christi highlighted in that as well, maybe Lubbock. So some areas, some city examples that can see some slightly above average temperatures for this winter. Now, typically in a weak La Niña, how do our temperatures play out? I showed you my forecast. I'm going to kind of show you my climatological data of how this usually plays out. Again, the La Niña graph goes back all the way back into the 40s, so we got a lot of data in here. And as you can see, typically in a weak La Niña, the northern plains could be as much as 3-4 degrees below average, all right, Fahrenheit, which doesn't sound like much, but for an entire winter, it's a lot. And notice how the southern portions of the Mid-Atlantic, the Southeast, the lower Tennessee Valley, Mississippi Valley is usually warmer, anywhere from 0.5 degree to 1.5 degrees above average. But even the northeastern United States, even the central plains, including northern Ohio Valley, as well as the western third of the country, still most of the country has some below average temperatures with a weak La Niña, with the exception of maybe the portions of the southern Mid-Atlantic and the Southeast. Now, this is climatologically. This is typically what happens when you combine all the data that we've had. So this is kind of like based on a climatological basis here. Now, how will our temperatures look within the ENSO neutral? All right. So again, you saw my forecast earlier. Now, how do our temperatures play out typically when we have an ENSO neutral winter? And yeah. So again, northern plains has some of the worst of the cold. Okay, we got the deepest shades of blue here, as much as 2.5 degrees. Not as cold as we typically see with a weak La Niña, but that's why I kind of highlighted the northern plains in that darkest shade of blue color, because they either way, if it's La Niña or neutral, they're pretty much in that darker shades of blue, so they have a good chance to see some colder temperatures for the winter up there. But look at this, the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic. Sorry, I got the wrong type of drawing tool. Northeast, we got the Mid-Atlantic, even the central southern plains, the Four Corners region, the West Coast, the Rockies, pretty much everywhere except for Florida. All right, everywhere except for the state of Florida is typically cooler than average. Florida maybe just ever so slightly above average typically, or climatologically. And then the Southeast region, we typically see some average temperatures, or very, very little difference for the Southeast region here. And in the ENSO neutral, that is typically how our temperatures play out. Now we're going to take a look at my snowfall forecast for this winter. So here's my updated snowfall forecast for you guys. And as you can see, we have our slightly above average snowfall, again, for just about the, the northern half of this country, maybe the northern third of this country. Again, including the northwest, northern plains. We got the Ohio Valley, maybe even the extreme northern Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. I think we have the possibility to see some slightly above average snowfall for this winter. But where I'm emphasizing it, again, is the northern plains region. Because even in a neutral, we can see some wetter times up here. And the La Niña, we really emphasize there could be some wetter times. So either way, La Niña or neutral, I think there's pretty much almost guarantees some cold and snow for you guys up there in the northern plains. But again, this could change. All right, I mean, winter doesn't even start for at least another 4 months. Actually, it's probably later than that. Actually, yeah, 4 months. So we still got a lot of time. All right, for this to update and change. Now, slightly below average. I didn't put it a regular below average because I'm not quite. I mean, I am confident, but I'm less confident, less certainty in the modeling here. But some slightly below average snowfall is possible. All right, for places like Southern California, Arizona, New Mexico through Texas, Louisiana, and then down to the Southeast towards Florida. Might be thinking, wait, places like Florida and Death Valley really never see snowfall anyway. All right, so you might be thinking, well, why would you put that there then? So basically, if places like Florida and Death Valley are in that slightly below average snowfall region, this can pretty much guarantee that there will be no snow this winter. Almost guarantee. There's no 100% guarantees yet, but Florida typically doesn't see snow. If we see a warmer and drier winter, that just lessens our chances of snowfall even more, even lower than they already were. All right, so Florida's not looking too good for you, but I think the record snowfall we had in Florida was 4 inches. I'm not quite sure when, I can't remember, but I do remember there was 4 inches of snowfall. And I do think it was the northern or central part of the state up here that saw the 4 inches of snowfall. And then anywhere in between in the white region, maybe expect some average snowfall. All right, in that white color, maybe some more snowfall one month, maybe less snowfall the other month. All right, again, this could change with time. Now, for the big overall forecast, this is my updated overall forecast. So let's go ahead and take a look at that now. Drum roll, please. And here we are. So this is my overall winter 2020-2021 forecast. Again, this is an updated version. This is the second one, depending on when you're watching this. Okay. All right. So the third one may even be out by the time you're watching this. Don't know. Not quite sure when the third one might be coming out. But this is my second forecast here, my second overall forecast. And as you can see, we're going to start again. In case you're not familiar with how I like to do these kinds of forecasts with the overall, I like to start from top to bottom of this key on the right side of your screen, going from west to east in the United States. So starting with wet conditions, okay? And this is where I think we've had a major change. You might be thinking, okay, well, this still includes the Northwest United States, but what I've really taken away is the Southeast. I've now put them in a warmer and drier scenario because the only reason I had the Southeast in a wetter scenario for this winter is because we had higher chances of an ENSO neutral phase for this winter. And you might know that if we have an ENSO neutral winter, that the Southeast will see some wetter times. But now the chances of that are lessening. I think the Southeast could see some drier times. Now our next one is mountain snow, and obviously that includes the Rocky Mountains region, Sierra Nevada included in there as well. And obviously we can see our typical mountain snow. All right, it could be a little bit more, especially in the northern Rockies regions. We could see a little bit above average mountain snow, but like, I mean, they get a lot of snow anyway, right? I mean, some places get like hundreds of inches, so good for them. Now, our warmer and drier spots include Southern California, Central Southern California, Arizona, New Mexico, pretty much the entire state of Texas, the entire state of Louisiana, and the southern half of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina. This also includes the entire state of Florida. I think we could see some warmer and drier times. This also includes Las Vegas and Death Valley. So as that forecast there. And then cold blast and maybe some snowier times. I mean, the cold blast for sure. The snowy part we're not quite sure about yet. But one thing we do know is that we're definitely going to see some cold blast, northern plains, maybe even down to the central plains, maybe the extreme northern Ohio Valley, maybe Cleveland, maybe Chicago, maybe Indianapolis, maybe Detroit could be included in that, Green Bay, Wisconsin. All right, so moving on to, now I added a layer here of warmer temperatures, but maybe some average precip because the jet stream is going to be pretty close to this region. So it's almost going to be a toss-up here. We're going to see some warmer times probably, as of now, but maybe some average precip in that red region, including like northern Georgia, northern Alabama, northern Mississippi, western North Carolina, OKC, Little Rock, including that as well. Even a place like Tupelo, Mississippi, Oxford, Mississippi. Then we have those wintry mixed conditions. Maybe some rain, snow mix for this winter. Lower Ohio Valley, Upper Tennessee Valley. That's usually kind of like where you have that battle zone. And that's where we can set up this winter. Paducah, Kentucky. Paducah and Louisville, Kentucky. Charleston, West Virginia. We got St. Louis included in this as well. Extreme northeastern Arkansas included as well. Maybe even southern Indiana. Maybe the southern side of Indianapolis. And then lots of snowstorms are possible. I used to have it wrap around the entire region, but I kind of include that now for a place like eastern Ohio, western Pennsylvania, and like pretty much like in the Great Lakes region in the interior northeast. You can see some snowstorms. And then the eastern seaboard, we have some coastal storms. All right, that could be taking place. Now, whether they're rainy or maybe, because like I said, usually in the wintertime, how coastal storms play out is if we see the storm move inland, that kind of means less snow and more rain for the immediate coastline, but more snowfall inland. If a coastal low to move up the east coast, but not too far off the coast, because then we won't see any impacts. But if it moves up right at the east coast and just that right spot, the eastern seaboard, even in the immediate coastline, could see a lot of snowfall. So we don't know the exact track of all these storms yet, obviously. All right, quite a few months out, but still, you can see some coastal storms. All right, for the eastern seaboard, that is certainly a possibility. Now, this winter forecast could surely change, so please keep it here to the Weather Dude for updates. Subscribe and ring the bell notification, please. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. I am the Weather Dude, signing off till next time. I'll catch you guys in the next video.